Welcome, everybody, to Spotlight 814. I am your host, Ryan Dolly, and I am in the studio this week with Adele Crotty. Hi, Adele.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. And also here with Tony Lewandowski.
Nice
What's
to
up,
be here.
Tony?
Good, how you doing?
You know, I'm here. It's Saturday and I'm here.
Oh, it is so Saturday morning.
It's
It
definitely
is.
a Saturday morning. It feels weird to not be at work.
Oh, you usually work Saturdays.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you guys are here from Penny and Pearl Productions, which is Adele's production company.
Accurate.
And you are currently putting on the sold-out Murder Impossible,
That is accurate as well.
a brand new murder mystery on the Victorian Princess, written by none other than Adele Crotty.
What? Who's that?
Ever heard of her?
Nobody in here has ever heard of Adele Crotty.
She doesn't do anything.
She doesn't. She just sits at home.
So lazy. So lazy.
It's ridiculous.
Honestly. So it's sold out. So we have nothing to promote here. We're not
Right.
trying to get people to buy tickets.
No, you cannot. We won't let you.
Well, that's the show, everybody.
But I wanted you here because it's important what you're doing in the community, and like you guys are creating new opportunities, paid opportunities for
Yes.
actors, which is incredible. So tell me a little bit about the process. Like, when did you start writing it? What was going through your mind as you were writing it? Spill the beans.
Okay.
I
I
mean, we should
see-
also kind of just say we've done this now for three.
Yeah.
This is our third summer,
years,
so
yeah.
we're going back.
Or this is our third year.
Yeah, and we talked to you last year about year.
we
sold
talked
out.
about last year was sold out as well.
Yeah.
This year we added another show. So we had 6 shows this year, or will have as of next week, 6 shows this year. In the past couple of years, we've only done 5. So I don't know what we were smoking when we decided that, but it came out okay.
Meth.
Yeah.
So
Meth.
woohoo!
Definitely meth.
Yeah, it was definitely a mixture of meth and something. I don't.
And
More
Smarties.
meth, probably. Ooh, Smarties. Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's where the
They-
idea
That's my
came from.
ritual. That's how I get
Yeah,
creative.
that's
is
where
smoking
the
they call it
ideas
Smarties.
come from.
smeth.
Smet.
Oh.
Ooh.
Smart.
Smart. Are
Well.
we approaching Smosh territory?
Maybe.
That's how Smosh
We're
is.
out of tickets to sell, but we got plenty of Smith.
We got lots of Smet.
Yes.
Well, each year, I try to think of a new theme, a new vibe. The first year we did kind of like a gangsters 1920s, 30s theme, which was really fun. We used music from different musicals of that era, Chicago, Anything Goes. Like it was,
So it was a musical.
no,
Oh, no.
not
Okay.
even a little bit.
Just
Well,
the-
no, there was one point where Tony was supposed to sing. Do you want to give your rendition of the song?
I don't remember exactly how I did it the first year, but yeah, I just did some kind of weird because my character was not actually a singer. I was posing as a singer, but I was
Right.
actually a mobster. So when somebody put me on the spot of why don't you try to sing a song, it just kind of came out all like it was just if that's the correct noise, I don't remember
That's
anymore.
pretty much what it was. Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And they say birds aren't real. Come on.
People say that?
People
Oh,
say
that's
that.
right. I forgot about that whole conspiracy
That's-
theory.
oh, real thing.
That's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have one right here, so
We have a real live bird.
Red light bird.
big bird.
I gotta go jump on a wire and recharge.
I think it's fun doing theme kind of shows. People get into that.
Yeah.
A lot of people dressed up for it.
Oh, cool.
And it was fun to write in terms of using, colloquialisms from the time, and
Mhm.
people get into that. People like it, and it was funny, and it was cute, and
The people talk like this, see? And
yeah,
See,
sometimes
That's the best.
I didn't.
I want to do a podcast where I only talk like
I
that.
think you should.
Start it right now.
Yeah, see,
There we
here's
go.
the deal, sugar plum. I don't.
So the murder mystery show.
Don't get me started.
I'm going to get you started.
Oh no, Ryan's riling me up. The second year we did it, the show was a little more serious. I wanted to kind of go in a different direction. So it was a little more ominous, a little more dark, and it was a lot more complicated. Last year's was a little more complicated. I wanted to do the theme was just poisons. Everyone got poisoned in a different way. So that was fun for
I
me
like
to
that, yeah.
research on my work
What's
computer.
your favorite poison?
My favorite poison. Oh man. That's tough. Ricin is great because
Ricin is good.
you only need a teeny tiny amount. Strychnine is good because you can't smell it or see it. Actual fast. Cyanide is good.
Cyanide's always the
Cyanide
classic.
is good.
Classic cyanide.
I mean, only a few people in the world. I don't know what the percentage is, but not everyone can smell cyanide.
What are your thoughts on eye drops?
Eye drops are great.
Yeah.
Eye drops are super great because it's like, who's gonna look in a medicine cabinet and go, "Oh, there's eye drops. They must have been poisoned."
Right.
Like, no one's gonna think that.
Yeah.
So,
Except
like,
for
you're
that one
pretty
lady that got
safe.
arrested a couple
Well,
years ago.
well, she was dumb.
She was real dumb about it.
And then the go-to obviously is antifreeze. I mean, that's your go-to.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I
So
plead the
there's your
fifth.
lesson on poisons.
There you go. Do
All
with
right.
that as you will.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Maybe
man.
just leave it to the writers.
This podcast can be part of an investigation someday.
No. Along with my laptop search history.
So tell us about this year's.
So this year we went with a theme that was kind of like, let's take a murder mystery and almost do, a satire of, a Mission Impossible, James Bond type thing, where we have a secret agent played by Tony who is not good at his job.
Okay, I can see that.
And I can see that.
When she says not
Typecasting.
good at his job, she means the actor,
The
is fine.
actor is
the
fine.
character is bad at his job.
Tony
Tony
as
over here
an
just
actor is great.
Terrible at acting.
And I wanted it to be real funny.
Yeah,
Not silly funny, but like Clue or The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Mm.
Those kind of
Yeah,
themes on a murder mystery.
Flames on
Flames
the
on
side
the
of my
side of my
face.
face. I actually do. One of the characters doesn't quote that line, but a different line from Clue.
Beautiful. I love it.
And I don't think she'd ever seen it. This cast, I swear, I have to explain like every reference
Yes, you
because
do.
no one in my cast sees movies ever. And
I've seen The Man Who Knew Too Little. I have not seen Clue. I apologize.
see,
You've not seen
this is
Clue?
what I'm saying.
I knew that was going to get that
And
reaction. That's why I said
Clue! My
Clue.
voice got real high.
real high. I
People
don't like
thought
the way
that
you're
was
looking at me right
and
now.
it wasn't me. It was Ryan. That was Ryan.
Yeah.
Clue!
Yeah, wow. That's a good Adele impression, though.
And Colleen has never seen Princess Bride.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
another line that is so. My shows are a learning experience for my cast, and I make them do homework that they don't do because they don't watch the movies I tell them to watch so that they're prepared. But that's okay. I love you guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
Covered very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this year's show, way more death. Lots of different
Love death.
methods of death. I went all out this year. Usually, I mean, it's hard on a boat when you don't have like costume changes really, or set changes, or breaks in the action at all in any way, shape, or form other than the meal. So you can't like cut someone's head off
You can
on
stab 'em with a
stage.
fork.
Like you can't do any action type thing
Hmm.
because there's no way to
Fake it.
fake it.
Yeah.
Because people are this close to you.
So you just
Like-
have to do the real thing and then get new
I
actors every
do,
night.
that's why I'm always hiring.
It's a hassle. It
Always
really is.
hiring.
It really. You got to do something with the body afterwards.
Well, at least
luckily
you're on a
we're
boat.
lake.
It's
yeah,
easy
I
to
mean, we're
dump
on the
it.
boat. There's now an alligator.
There are now like
We really are going to get
Crocodile.
investigated.
there's 18 bodies in the bay because of our show.
But that's all.
Yeah.
Listen, go on with the show. That's the motto.
The show must go on.
Show must go on.
It is definitely a unique experience doing a show on a boat. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's extremely unique because, well, for one thing, I think somebody mentioned, I think it was maybe Colleen said, it's like sensory overload, which is a good way to explain it. Because when you're doing the show on the boat, you are moving because the
Mhm.
boat is moving. You've got an engine going.
Yeah.
So you're trying to talk over the engine. You've got people literally, like right there
here.
surrounding you.
Yeah. and
Maybe
you-
even having side conversations to themselves.
Right.
You just got scenery outside the windows. There's a lot going
People
on.
flying by on jet skis wearing bikinis, and
There's that sometimes, yeah.
Oh, hey, look.
you never know. Like,
Why did Tony drop a line today?
oh, it was
Yeah.
Bikini
The
Girl.
bikini girl.
Mhm.
Every time.
Knew it.
Yeah, every
She's
time.
back
She
again.
follows us. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
As an actor, that's a unique hurdle.
Mhm.
I
It
have had done the cruise ship experience.
Yes, you performed on a cruise ship. That's
I
right.
did not
Get
in
out.
musicals or anything, but I was in the band. But like, the ship's rocking, and like you're dancing when you don't want to dance because you have to stand up, and it's kind of tough. So I get it, and like everybody just talking, it's like, yeah, I get it.
You get
it's a
different kinds
unique-
of crowds too with this, because you
Yeah.
get the people that are there because they want to see a show, but you also get people that are there because they just want to cruise.
They want to get drunk.
Yeah.
They
And
do.
I think they want to see. I mean, they want to see the show too, but it's like they're just a different kind of Patreon that would go to like a theater.
Right.
It's just a different type of thing. So I think that those kind of people, maybe they're more talkative.
Mm.
They're a little more like, hey, we're boozing up, we're enjoying the show, but we don't know how to behave.
Right,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
Yeah.
Tony.
So we're gonna talk a little bit
Yeah.
about people not behaving
Oh,
on the dating
yeah.
later. But
Yeah, Tony has a great story about people not behaving.
ooh, do tell.
It's so good.
Well,
The-
it's interesting because it was the very first show we did ever on the
Ever.
boat. The first show. And for whatever reason, that was the show where everything went wrong.
went wrong. It was
That
it
was
was
the
the
play.
play that goes wrong on a boat.
Yes. And we're like, oh, this is just the way it's going to be always. And it was never that way again, thank God. But there was one guy on that show that didn't understand what he was there for, I don't think. He had been drinking a lot, and it was his wife, girlfriend, fiance, somebody's birthday.
Mhm.
And they were having a good old time, which is great. But I mean, a lot of talking during the show, a lot of yelling during the show, to the point where other audience members are telling this guy to be quiet.
Oh yeah.
And at one point, actually during the part that you were mentioning where I'm supposed to start singing,
Very
right-
funny part. So
That's
funny.
the- yes,
like
yes.
so funny. Especially because the audience doesn't know he can't sing.
Right.
So he's like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, and
And
as
then
I'm
we
getting
have
ready to do
this.
that, this guy stands up out of his chair. Well, first, he's on the phone talking
Mhm.
while I'm doing this.
Okay.
And then he stands up out of his chair and starts talking to me. I'm in the middle of a scene. And he's like, hey, holds the phone up to my face. He's like, can you talk to my son? Talk to my son. Tell him who the killer is. I'm in the middle of a scene. And the guy has his phone against my ear.
Yeah,
as I'm
yeah.
doing. And I've been in shows where phones have rang in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
And
People
I've
have
had people
talked
answer.
on the phone.
It's,
Yeah.
I'm at the theater.
I'll call you back, Meredith.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
When we were in Jersey Boys at the Academy, we had this woman sitting front row on FaceTime with somebody, having her watch the show with her.
Shut up.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, I've never seen that before.
That's new.
Yes. And I politely told this man, you need to sit down. Because when you're in the middle of a scene, it's always, keep trucking forward. But of course,
But you can't.
in that situation, it's like, I don't know how to just ignore what's happening right now because he's literally inserting himself into the scene in front of the whole audience.
Yeah.
So you have to acknowledge him and just tell him, you need to sit back down.
Yeah.
And then just move on.
My
You
favorite
Patty
part.
LuPone that thing.
Yeah, my favorite part was into the phone that the guy's holding up to Tony's face. Tony says, "Your father is drunk." And then Tony looked at the guy and said, "You need to sit down." And everyone cheered. And I know that sounds like one of those stories where like, oh, and everyone clapped. But everyone did cheer when this guy got like shut down because he was annoying everybody and
I love
ruining
that.
everybody's time.
I love that.
I know. I probably remember it even less than you do because in my mind, I was just trying to survive the moment.
Just get
Yeah.
through it, yeah.
And there I am, the first time director, writer of a show on a boat, and this is happening in front of me, and I can't do anything. And I think I had like 4 drinks in
Yeah.
the span of a minute because I was like,
Keep them
oh
coming.
my God,
Yes.
I'm gonna die.
Barkeep.
So many Smarties too.
So many.
You were-
I had a lot of smeth.
Schmeth.
And a lot of
Ridiculous.
smeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this great story my friend Ted tells about a time when he went to see, I think, a revival of Grease. And there was this lady, like front row, got this phone call, and she goes, "Hello? Yeah, I'm at the show. It's okay."
That's fantastic.
Oh my God, that is my favorite thing I've ever heard. It's okay.
It's okay.
The guy on stage is my least favorite.
Yeah, this one right here. Let me show you. Oh my God, that's wild.
That's fantastic.
So Adele, we used to do shows back in high school
We sure
together.
did.
You were a senior when I was a freshman or a sophomore,
Yes.
and you were in my first show,
Yes.
which was what was it? It was not Kiss Me Kate. It was Kiss Me Kate.
No.
it? No.
It was Pajama Game.
Pajama Game.
Yeah.
Pajama Game was my first show. Why do
Yeah.
I always say Kiss Me Kate? It's Pajama Game.
Because you were annoying.
My weak arm.
My
It's my weak arm. I still use that
Do you?
excuse. I'm weak. It's my weak arm.
Oh, we got
I can't do anything. I'm weak. And it's true. I'm weak. I
He's
just-
that excuse a lot.
I took that line and I just ran with it for the rest of my life.
For the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's like but we were just talking about how cool it is. Like, we have all these people that we went to high school with that are still doing theater in the Erie area. And it's just really cool to see.
We were very lucky at Seneca, of all places, that I mean, especially the time span that I was there, we had so many incredibly talented people in our theater program. We didn't even have a theater program. We didn't have drama like when I was there. Like after I graduated, they started some drama classes, but there was no theater group. There was no acting classes. There was no drama club. We didn't have anything like that. And yet we had some of the most talented people in our shows, which is why they were so good. I'm really thankful that having, gone to a school in the middle of the country, like that we were able to put on such quality productions that's my standard. Yeah. And I've been in shows that I was like, we would have done that better at Seneca.
I love, like right now at 39, like I love going to see high school shows because they always blow me away. Always. And it's so cool. Tony, when did you get into theater?
I was in 9th grade when I started, and it was something I always wanted to do. I just didn't know how. Like, I didn't know how to get involved in it because
I was terrible at it.
Oh, really? Well, it wasn't even so much that. It's
I couldn't sing. I couldn't do anything. They were like, just stand in the back and sing bass. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
With my week off.
Yeah, I'm not a singer at all. But like, I was interested in acting, and I kind of credit Michael J. Fox early on, and like when I was a kid, it's like
my hero, man.
He came to me in a dream.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Really good, cool. Yeah, because I was like, Back to the Future was my favorite movie. Teen Wolf was one of my favorite movies. Family Ties was on. And I remember, like, I'm really little, I'm seeing this guy playing all these different characters. And he's like on all kinds of different things. So I know it's not actually, that's not actually Marty McFly because he's playing all these other characters, right? Yeah. And I'm really young. And I'm just like, I don't know what he's doing, but like, I want to do that. Like, that's what I want to do. I just want to be able to pretend I'm a Marty McFly or something.
Yeah. For me, it was Jim Carrey.
Oh, really?
Like, I just loved the dumb faces and the noises that he made, like the rubber face. Like, I started like mimicking that, and I was like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. But like Gerard, so you were just talking about Corey, but like Gerard did not have, or not Corey, Seneca, I'm sorry. Corey. They all sound the same to me. But like Seneca, I guess, must have had good theater program, but we did not in Gerard, at least at the time. I think it's gotten better, but we didn't have anything in middle school. We had nothing until you got into 9th grade. You didn't have anything. So I spent all those years just kind of like, I didn't really know about Theory Playhouse. Like, I didn't know about anything. Like, I didn't come from a theater family or anything.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't do like youth theater shows or anything.
So in 9th grade, when I was like, hey, I'm in the high school now and I'm going to try out for the high school play. And so I did that. And then after that, I think my parents were kind of like, oh, you're interested in that? Well, like, let's sign you up for the youth theater, the Playhouse. So then I did some shows there throughout high school. So yeah, that just kind of picked up from there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm really happy that you guys are sold out so quickly. I mean, it just like it happened like that. Tony reached out to me and he was like, hey, can we get on the podcast? And I was like, yes, definitely. But the station is closed for like the next 2 weekends. And then we talked again the next week and he's like, it's actually sold out. And I was like, that's okay. I still want you guys to come on and we're going to talk about it because what you guys are doing is important.
I mean, the show has provided us with some just real memorable moments. I mean, gosh, our last dress rehearsal the first year when, I don't know if you want to tell the story.
This is my favorite story of all time in all of theater, which is a lot because I've done a number of shows. We're rehearsing on the boat and we're not in costume. We're just in regular clothes. I mean, I say we, I'm not in the show. Yeah. But we're rehearsing, everyone's just wearing their regular clothes. We're not like dressed in costume or anything. And the last scene, one of the characters has a gun, a prop gun, obviously, because it's a
Oh, it's a real
show.
one because you
I
kill
shoot
them all
everyone all
Yeah.
the time. Don't use that in court, please. Um,
Good disclaimer.
Thank you. So we're doing the scene, and we finish our rehearsal, and I'm just giving notes to the cast, and all of a sudden, all of these cop cars, like are, I don't even know
They're
how to
surrounding
describe
the
it.
boat, basically.
Like, so many cop cars, and they've got their lights on, and we're like, what is happening out
I'm
there?
assuming
Oh
you're
my god.
docked.
We're
Because,
docked.
We're
Yeah,
docked.
at the
all these
dock.
cop cars.
These
are
cop
sounding
cars aren't
the
sitting on the
water.
And so I mean, we see the lights flashing and stuff, and we don't think it's for us.
No,
We're like,
we
oh, what's
think
going
like,
on
oh my
outside?
god, something happened.
Yeah.
But I guess a family had been walking by and saw Katie States, the sweetest human being on the planet, pointing a gun at a bunch of people
Oh no.
and called the cops.
Yeah, even with a prop, you don't
Even
do
I mean,
that.
and it obviously prop guns look like they're real. And, you know, she doesn't know Katie wouldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah.
Or that we're rehearsing for a play, because why would any of those
'Cause you're
things
on a
be your
boat.
first? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this person, and to their credit, did exactly what you should do in a situation like that. Called the cops, said, I think there's someone on the Victorian Princess. They have a gun. It looks like they've got other people on the boat.
They're
And so
hostages.
all these cops just come swarming up. And luckily the owner of the boat was there, and she was outside waiting for us to get off the boat after a rehearsal. And so she talked to them and kind of explained what was happening. And they were like, okay, well, we still have to go on the boat to like just
Check. We have to assess the
verify.
situation.
Oh yeah, they're just rehearsing a play. We hear that one all the time.
Yeah.
Every bank robber says the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just rehearsing.
So the cops, a couple of
I'm
them
gonna use
came
that for everything.
onto the boat, and they were like, who's in charge? And I was like, me. Don't arrest me. I don't know what we did. I don't know what's happening. And they kind of explained what happened, and joked with us about, you know, well, maybe we should be in the show, or, you know, something. And essentially it was like, well, we're going to use this story to our advantage for publicity for sure. Like, our shows are so realistic. The cops showed up.
Yeah. We're that
We're
convincing.
that good.
And Olivia saw it kind of transpire. She was assistant directing that year. And she said that she was sitting there. And so in the scene, Katie's pointing a gun at somebody, but then another actor comes up behind her and points a gun at her. So they
Many
said they
guns.
were, yeah, many guns. So they said that she said this family with their kids was looking into the boat because it's dark and the lights are on. You can see right in there. And was just looking in the boat, very concerned. And then when the other actor comes downstairs and points the gun, they just quickly ran away. Like they thought, like, oh no, we're about to see someone get shot. Or something.
my
Like
God,
she just watched them like quickly turn around and run away. And then next thing you know, cops are
That's
pulling
funny,
up.
man. That's crazy.
So we had to make sure that they knew every Thursday for the next, 5 weeks or
We're
whatever.
gonna have guns on
This
this
is
boat.
gonna happen. And they were
Yeah.
like, now that we know, that's fine.
We just hope nothing actually does happen on the Victorian
I
Princess.
know, because
Right.
God forbid on
Someone
a
actually
Thursday
has a-
night someone does have a gun.
Like,
They'd be
oh,
like, no,
that's sad.
it's a play, it's fine.
Yeah, we know all about that.
10
Yeah.
people are shot.
Yeah. No, let's don't do that.
Yeah. But
Did we just tip people off to what they can get away with?
don't do that.
Don't
Yeah,
do
don't
that
do
on
that.
No,
Thursday.
that only was allowed 3 years ago.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
not
have
allowed
any.
anymore.
No one's shooting
yeah,
anybody.
that's expired.
No clearances this year.
No, there's no excuse. You do not have an alibi.
Let's discuss the relationship that you guys have with the Victorian Princess. So how did that come about?
I'll lend that over to you.
Thanks. So years and years ago, I did a show at All in Act called Smoking Section. And Dee, who is the owner of the Victorian Princess now, she wasn't then, she was also in the show, and it was the only show she'd ever done. But she was super fun, super sweet. And then after she bought the boat, she asked me, like, hey, would you be interested in writing a show for the boat? I'd love to have a show on the boat. And I was like, I cannot even fathom how that would work. And at the time, that wasn't a place where I was.
Yeah.
And so a couple years later, I guess I kind of came around to the idea after some convincing. And I was like, I mean, I have written some shows. I guess I could try. Because the boat is a very unique venue
Yeah.
in terms of what you can do and what you can't do and how many people you can have or not have. And like I said, with the death scenes, like everything is so catered specifically to the boat. And it took me longer to write the first one because I was constantly like, okay, I only have 2 exits and the stairs, and everyone has to be here, and these people, okay, but nobody can, okay, and they can't, okay,
Just
and
logistical stuff.
then having to remember like the food portions,
Right.
like, okay, we have to make sure there's a break here and there's a break here and there's a break here. It was tricky, but it was so well received the first year. I mean, I thought it would just be a one-off thing. Like, well, we're just going to try this weird thing that no one's ever done. And we'll see what happens. And it worked. And people loved it. And people kept asking, oh, are you going to do it next year? Are you going to do it next year? And we were like, I mean, I guess we could.
Are you going to do it next year?
I don't know. It's always an I don't know while we're doing it.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the trenches right now.
We're in the trenches right now. And my brain is like, never again. But I feel like I say that every year.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm never doing this again.
It's I mean, been hugely successful in the sense of like, yeah, we were sold out halfway through the run, with weeks left to go.
Yeah.
Which is both nice, but also kind of a bummer because you're like, oh, there's still a lot of people interested and we're out of tickets. So it almost feels like you're leaving money on the table or something,
Right,
it's like,
yeah,
I bet you if we've had another show or two, we could book those up too, because, but I mean, it's great how successful it is.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about something else now. We're going to move on to Tethered, which happened last year.
It
at
did.
PACA. And was that this year?
It was this year.
That was this year.
It was
Holy
this past
crap.
I know.
February?
What even year is it?
It's
What even
2039.
Because that almost feels like it was 2 years ago.
No,
Yeah.
it feels like it was 5 years ago.
So
Oh,
it happened
man.
earlier this year, and you guys are planning on doing it again.
Yes.
You have a Tethered Kickstarter launch event at Feed
Yes.
on September 20th.
Accurate.
So let's talk about that. What's going on?
Okay, so we pretty much started planning the next Tethered, like I will say maybe 2 weeks after Tethered wrapped, which is insane. But after realizing how much work it was and how much more time we needed, it's a good thing.
Well, it's good to get that first one out of the way.
Yeah,
then
and now
then
there was a
you-
lot we learned for sure.
Yeah. And you can refine it.
Yeah. So
It's-
this year, we're gonna be doing it at Feed, which is why we wanted to have the Kickstarter at Feed, because that's where Tethered will be, 2025. The show, it has the same concept in terms of it being an immersive experience, but it is this year, or I keep saying this year, but it's next year. Tethered 2025. I'm just going to remember to call it that. Tethered 2025 takes on the themes of consciousness and memory.
Okay.
I had a significant loss in my family this year. My aunt passed away. She had been suffering from Alzheimer's for many years. And to watch what she went through and what my family went through and her kids went through, and it really impresses upon you how important our memories are. So that that's part of the theme, is what do you do when you start to lose those, or when you're not sure, like you're not confident, like, is that what I remember, is that what happened, or is that what someone told me that kind of concept. And everyone, I feel like, can relate to that. Just like last year, this year, oh my god,
The last one,
Tethered number 1 was more related to codependency and addiction. So this one, it's a different theme, but it's still very, very personal to all of us who are working on it and writing it. I mean, the first Tethered was very much based on Nikki Bear's story and her experience with her ex-husband. And then we all kind of brought our own experiences to that. So that's pretty much what we're doing this year. For Tethered 25 is taking our experiences with things like Alzheimer's and
memory loss.
and
Yeah.
even just one of the scenes that I'm working on is 2 events that are happening at the same time. But it's the same event, but it's from the perspective of 2 different people who are involved in the event. Because I think a lot of times we forget that someone else might be seeing the same thing that you're seeing, but they're seeing it in a different way from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? And how do we, remind ourselves that our memory might not be the best memory, and it might not be the most accurate memory.
Right.
And to be okay with saying, oh, well, I mean, I don't remember that, but yeah, no, you're right. That probably is what happened.
Yeah.
I think that too. Like, there's a lot of more people than you think that have had that experience of a loved one that has dementia
Absolutely,
or Alzheimer's.
yeah.
It seems like you hear about it a lot. It's far more common than you think it is. And my grandfather had terrible Alzheimer's, and it was devastating. So I think that, to what Adele was saying, like the first year, it was something that everyone could relate to. Probably a lot of people have been through those experiences.
Yep.
It sounds
Or
like
knew
this one.
someone who had.
Yeah.
This will be
You've
similar. I
seen
think
it
that's
happen.
when it hits, is when everyone can kind of relate to it.
Yeah.
And the first Tethered went off without a hitch. I mean, it was such an undertaking.
Yeah, I wanted to go, and tickets sold out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, good. I mean, it was such an undertaking that I think all of us involved were like, not sure what to expect the day of, because no one's really ever done something like that. And for it to go as smoothly as it did is a huge credit to the crew involved, the people that put it together. It's just, I mean, they were ultra prepared. And so I can only imagine the second year having learned some stuff.
And we
along
are
the way.
going to do it 2 weekends. So
Okay.
there will be 4
Oh, good.
dates.
Good. Okay.
Because a lot of people, even people who came to see it, because you can't see everything, because it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who were like, oh, I didn't even get to that room. I didn't even see that part. I didn't even know that was happening. And because you couldn't come back again because it was sold out, a lot of people, wished that they had been able to. So this would allow not only people to see it a number of times, which I would highly recommend, but more people just in general will be able to see it. And I think that's really important.
And I just want to really push the Tethered concept, because if you haven't seen it, it's really worth seeing. I mean, Adele and I have done interactive theater plenty, but this is something completely different. This immersive thing. I mean, it's so hard. I mean, and a lot of it had to do with my character in the show, because he was such an asshole. Am I allowed to say that here?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. He poop shoot. I don't know what the correct. What's PG around here?
He
But
was a mean man.
Yes.
Well, in the last episode we discussed this. They usually they beep out the whole part.
They beep out the hole. Okay.
But so it's like
So he was an ass. Okay. All right. Yeah. So my character was an ass. And it was tough, because my job in that show, as she mentioned, it was about codependency and addiction and quite frankly abuse. And my job in that show was legitimately to try to get people triggered, essentially, especially women that have gone through that type of relationship. And so for an hour at a time, for 3 hours total in one night, that's what you're doing, is you're triggering people, and you can see it happening. You can see people running out of your room because they're triggered. You can see people getting very uncomfortable, and you have to stay in character and just keep doing it. And thank God we had the breaks in between the hours, because it kind of gave you a chance to recollect.
Yeah.
There's just something about Tethered where it's so much more real. It's so much, the immersiveness of it it becomes very real.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said that about the interactive, because it's not like going to the station,
going to the playhouse
or the playhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
You're in the show.
You are in the show, and it's not that necessarily the actor. It's not necessarily you can interact with the characters or whatever, but you're interacting with the concept, and you're interacting with the space, and we leave it up to, well, both the actors and the audience. The audience, if they want to be involved, they get a wristband.
Okay.
So that the cast can see that they want to be involved, because we don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. We don't want to approach anyone who is not
into
okay
it.
with that.
Yep.
And there were people who at first were okay and had their wristbands on, and then took them off because they were like,
Don't want
I'm
it.
not. This room is not a safe place for me to be involved, and
That's
that's fine.
I
Yeah.
dealt with that a lot. Yeah, because you're looking for the wristband before
Mhm.
you interact with somebody. So I'd say, okay, that person, but even though they had the wristband on, they clearly didn't want the interaction. Or sometimes they would, yeah, just pop it right off. And I realized,
Like,
okay,
cover
yeah,
it up or something.
Yeah.
yeah, I realized, okay, they do want the interaction, but not necessarily with me. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay,
Not necessarily
Eh.
in certain parts.
Yeah,
No, I get
exactly.
it. I get it.
yeah.
So what is this event on the 20th then at Feed?
So that is our Kickstarter event. So it'll be, if you buy a ticket to the Kickstarter event, you're essentially buying a ticket to Tethered.
Okay.
That's like discounted. The regular ticket price I think is $35 and the Kickstarter price is $25. So when you buy your $25 ticket to the Kickstarter, you're buying your ticket to Tethered
Okay.
at $10 cheaper. And that goes towards the funding of the production because we can't do anything without money first, which
Right.
is what's hard about Tethered is, we have to pay the rent for the space and we have to pay costuming and we have to pay for tech and we have to pay the composer. Like those are things that we have to pay for before we do anything,
Mhm.
before we open the doors. And so the Kickstarter is a way for people to get their tickets ahead of time
Mhm.
at a cheaper price and for us to have enough money to start doing it.
Yeah, that's a great
Um,
idea.
And the Kickstarter this year, I mean, there will be food, there will be drinks, there will be live dance performances. There will be, and then they're going to show the Tethered video companion that was created by John Lyons regarding last year's
Okay.
show.
Which is
So
fantastic.
it's so good, and it really does give people a better idea of what they're
In for.
in for. And I highly recommend, especially if people didn't go to see it last year, to come and see the Kickstarter because that video, I mean, it's got interviews with the production team, with the actors. It's got, clips that kind of show what we're talking about when we're answering these questions. It's just really, really fascinating to watch. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Anyone who did not see the first Tethered to come to the Kickstarter.
And where can we get tickets for that?
As soon as it goes live, there will be links everywhere.
Yeah. Follow
And-
Tethered's Facebook page, and you won't miss it.
You
I'm
won't
sure.
miss
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it's Tethered, an immersive theater
Theatrical
experience.
experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And follow them. Definitely get your tickets. That will be at Feed, which is an incredible space.
Yes, I'm so excited.
The WQLN crew.
And it's 100% accessible this year.
Yeah. Oh, good.
There's no elevators, there's no stairs, so no one's going to miss. We were very conscious of making that change. The Paca building is an incredible space, but there were people who missed out on seeing some of the scenes. Tony and Colleen were in the bathrooms that are on the stairwell, and yes, there's an elevator to take you to the different floors, but you wouldn't be able to see those spaces
Right.
if you were.
Yeah.
So we really, really, really wanted to make sure that this was something that was accessible to everyone, no matter what.
The WQLN team just the Chronicles team at WQLN. We just moved 200 TVs, 50-pound old school TVs from the Avalon Hotel over to Feed.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
And that was Thursday, and we are all still very
I
tired
can't
and sore.
even fathom.
Yeah, we had a little beach day for our intern yesterday, and everybody showed up like,
TVs were much heavier back then.
they're 50-pound
so
TVs, at least 50
heavy.
pounds. I couldn't even
Yeah.
get my arms around them.
Oh
Like,
my
and I was like,
They
my
were
weak arm, my
huge.
weak arm.
They had a handle.
Yeah.
and-
Some of them didn't even have handles.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You had to like reach down underneath.
Oh God. What were we thinking?
Yeah, so dumb.
Put your shit together in 1990.
I know.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Children.
All right, so we're gonna do something that we just started in the last episode. Before we take our Warner Books coffee break, we're gonna read a story from the subreddit "Am I the Asshole?" And this
I'm
is
so excited.
Let's
this is
do
one
it.
of my new favorite things now.
One of my best skills is determining who an asshole is.
Okay, good.
Everyone.
Everyone. That's the
So
answer.
here's the story. This is from 3 years ago. There aren't that many like theater stories on Reddit. I'm trying to find more and more, but like this one is another audience member being disruptive.
Oh, okay. I'm ready for it.
So here it goes. So not too long ago, I went to see Rent the musical. In front of me sat a mother, father, and what I'm assuming were their 3 kids. The moment the first song started, a mother picked up her phone and began to record. A person behind her tapped her on the shoulder and asked her to stop. Her 3 kids began to Snapchat the show and text. After a little while of this, I taped her shoulders. It says taped. I taped on their shoulders and kindly asked them to please stop texting. I did this to the mother last, and she said, "Oh man, like the punctuation in this is non-existent." I did this to the mother last, and she said, "Did you pay for my ticket? Did you pay $60 for my ticket? Watch the show." She faced her phone toward me and flipped me off. I gave her a thumbs up and I nodded my head. During intermission, she yelled at the lady that was behind her once again, mentioning the ticket price. After that, everyone left but the father, who never was on his phone or spoke to me. I tapped on his shoulder and apologized for speaking to his kids instead of an adult. He slightly turned his head and thanked me in what sounded to be a sincere way. They didn't text again during the second act. Should I have just waited and told an usher during intermission?
So the last question there, I have 2 big pet peeves in the world, and one of them is people like talking during in a movie theater or during a performance. Hate it.
I will slap you.
Oh
yeah.
I will slap
yeah.
you.
One of my 2 biggest pet peeves.
Mhm.
The other one is glare on the TV. But so anyways, what I would do in that situation is I would probably talk to them first, and then if they were a jerk about it, then I would go talk to the usher. That's the course of action I would take answering that last question.
Yeah, I agree. One of the comments is, the one thing I am loving about getting older is that I'm finding it less and less important to hold my tongue. Definitely not the asshole.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Definitely not the asshole. And they're lucky that they didn't have one of the actors on stage call them out,
Mhm.
to be honest, because we've done that before. I don't know if people just don't understand that the actors can see you, number one, because we can see you on your phone. It's lighting up your entire face. We know exactly who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. And second of all, you are not the only person who paid for a ticket.
Right.
Like, yeah, you did pay for your own ticket, and I paid for mine, which means I get to watch the show.
I get to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And so did all these other people. Do you want to pay for everyone's ticket so that you can act like an asshole?
Right,
Because
exactly.
that's what's happening.
If you pay for everybody's ticket, then you
do
act
whatever
whatever
you want.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I also wonder how old the kids were. Like, were these teenagers who even wanted to be there? Were they small children? I mean,
First of all, were they old enough to see Rent?
probably not.
Because
That's my guess.
there's some
There's
themes
some
in
stuff
Rent.
in there.
Yeah.
There's a few things in there that may be not appropriate for children.
Right.
Depending on their age or even their maturity level, which it sounds like these children were not.
Right.
I
do like this
the maturity level of the mother wasn't very high either.
Right. I do like this comment. It says, "Not the asshole. It is people like this that should stay the hell at home.
It's true.
They should have left their phones in their car along with their 3 stupid kids. Some days I just wish the world would collectively stick their phones up their asses as well."
I like that. I mean, but that's the thing though. You should be, when you're going to see a show that you're not supposed to be on your phone. Like, that.
They tell you at the beginning.
Yeah,
like,
there's no doubt.
no
Like,
recording.
There's no doubt they were told that.
Do any of those things and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
And to just be that entitled, I think people have this idea that because, well, this is my phone and it's my ticket, I am entitled to do whatever I want.
Right.
And we've lost all sense of decorum and common dignity for other people and respect. And it just, just because you have a phone doesn't mean you need to be on it.
Constantly.
Like, put it away.
It's an epidemic. It's a problem with society in general. Where I notice it because I love movies. I love going to the movie theater, and it's something that's kind of going away a little bit.
Yeah.
And we have one left in Erie. Hopefully, it sticks around.
Yeah.
But it's something that I like to do. And the thing that I notice is that this current generation does not know how to act
No.
in a movie theater. They talk.
Or in a
They're on
theater
their
in general,
phones.
yeah.
They just don't know what to do. They don't understand what's appropriate, what's not. And what really frustrates me is when you're in one of these places and these kids are with parents and these kids are doing whatever the heck they want and the parents just don't say a word.
Nope.
It's like, I don't know. At some point, tell your kids to be quiet, right?
I can't stand that. I
Yeah.
can't. As a,
Or you take them out.
Or you
Yeah.
take them out. Yeah.
I'm not taking
And by
them out.
take them out, I say kill them.
Yeah.
No, I'm just...
No, I know exactly what you meant. And I was on board. I
I
don't know,
was,
was it a joke? I'm
I
sorry.
didn't even question
I was
what we
like,
were
yeah,
talking
you
about.
clearly say okay.
Take them out.
You take them out. These ones clearly are not working out.
Yeah,
Let's
get
start
some-
over.
Let's
Yeah,
get
just
some new
start
ones.
fresh,
Let's get some
start
new
fresh,
ones.
or
Don't-
maybe don't.
Or, yeah. Don't.
don't. Just
or
don't,
start. You can start over. They'll look similar.
don't be a
Don't
parent.
have them if you're
Yeah.
not gonna take care of them. It's
Yeah.
like having a puppy.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get one if you're gonna let it pee on everyone's carpet.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And that's what that kid is doing.
Yeah.
They're
Peeing on my
essentially
carpet.
peeing on my carpet.
Yeah. So euthanize the kid, please.
Yes,
Yes.
at
Yes.
least, at
Yes.
least, at the very
At
least.
least.
And you know what? I'm glad that the husband probably was mortified.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he was obviously.
I felt for that guy.
I did too.
mortified.
When you were reading that, I'm like, oh, I know that guy. That
Yep.
guy is the guy's just embarrassed by everything that's happening.
Like he's the one that wanted to see the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
He's probably the one who paid for the tickets.
Yeah, yeah.
So her being like, "Did you pay for my ticket?" I wish
Right.
he'd been like, "No, bitch, I did."
yeah.
Like, shut up.
And, she's the one that's all like, hey, Jeff, stand up for me. And
Yeah,
he's gotta be
exactly,
like,
even though
"Oh,
she was, they got
yeah.
in the car and she's like, "Why didn't you tell him to leave me alone?"
I love Jeff. Jeff is my
Poor
favorite.
Jeff.
That poor
oh,
son of
man.
a-
Jeff, if you're listening, we got you.
We got
Yeah,
your back,
yeah.
We
Jeff.
got your back, Jeff. We'll
Am I the
euthanize this
asshole
kid.
for saying I wanted to euthanize kids
No,
earlier?
I don't think
No.
Just checking.
No, I think
No.
it's okay. Yeah, so that that's gonna wrap up the first segment. We're gonna take a little intermission now. We're gonna do our Warner Books coffee break, and we will be right back.
That was very soul.
All right, and we are back from our Warner Books
Spoiled.
coffee break. I am in the studio with Adele Crotty and Tony Lewandowski from Penny and Pearl Productions.
That's where we're from.
We sure
that's
are.
What you're doing.
She's one of them.
Are you,
I
are you
am
Penny or
Pearl.
Pearl? You're
I'm Pearl.
Who's Penny?
Olivia.
Olivia. I love Olivia.
She's my little penny.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on the Victorian Princess here in just a few minutes. But first, we just had our Warner Books
Very
coffee break,
dramatic.
and I'm drinking my go-to. It is the salted caramel
Ooh,
cold brew.
that sounds amazing.
And when they put the little topper on there, like the cream on top, the foam, it just like oozes down the side, and it's just the most satisfying.
I
thing to
love it
watch.
when my coffee oozes.
Oh, I love ooze.
It's oozy
Ooze.
coffee.
Ooh.
I
Oozy
love a good
coffee.
oozy coffee.
Ooh.
It is
Speaking my language.
fantastic.
I mean, if you can't have boozy coffee, you might as well have oozy coffee.
I like. the
That's
way
my
you
new.
think.
That's my new.
That's
that's
my
my new
motto.
That's what I'm here for.
Go.
I write the jokes.
Go to Warner. They got oozy coffee.
They do. They have regular coffee too,
Oh.
and it's fantastic.
I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do like an iced mocha
Mm,
situation.
iced
I
mocha
do like an iced mocha
Yeah?
situation.
They
Yeah.
do have iced mochas there.
That place is great though.
I love
I
Warner.
first went there for the the Sheets book signing actually.
Mhm.
And I was just impressed with it. And I've been back several times since because the coffee shop's awesome. And being able to kind of get books that are out of print, I always like too. so.
Yes.
Yeah. I got my my copy of Mouse there, which I haven't read since college. So
Oh, I love that.
It's such a good book. All right, so let me flip this back around on my dumb face. There it is. We're
We've had to
gonna do
look
our-
at it all day.
I know,
Yeah.
all morning. What a way to
I
start the
need
day.
a drink.
What a way to start the day. So thank you again to Warner Books for sponsoring Spotlight 814. That's the name of the podcast.
It sure is.
And we really appreciate that. another kind of sponsor that we have, it's a partnership with Broadway in Erie. They announced their 2024-2025 season, and season tickets are on sale right now. Dear Evan Hansen opens the season October 15th and 16th. Pretty Woman, January 8th and 9th. The Cher Show on February 25th and 26th. The Addams Family on March 17th and 18th. And Ain't Too Proud, May 23rd and 24th. So it's a great season.
That's a good mix.
Really good mix. Now we're going to go into our What's On 814. What's happening in Erie and around Erie, in Meadville and Franklin. Let's see. Next week, August 30th to September 15th at PACA, Pippin opens. It's going to be an amazing show.
I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait to see Aaron as Pippin.
It's going to be so good.
Fantastic. Gannon Schuster Theater, they are looking for host housing for their visiting performers from the UK. So
I don't have any rooms.
you could reach out to Anna McJunkin at McJunkin001 at gannon.edu by Friday the 23rd, which is yesterday.
I'm sure she'll still take your call.
I think they're still looking for people, though. If you're able to host any of the actors, a pair of actors would be great. They're doing a production of Julius Caesar at the Schuster Theater. It's from the Cambridge University American Stage Tour cast, and they do incredible things. Currently under the patronage of Dame Judi Dench. So whoa indeed. So if you have housing available for some of these guys, that'd be great.
Can I have Judi Dench?
I don't know if Judy will be here. But you could ask. You could ask. Do you want Judi Dench in your house?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So do I. She's great. She's fantastic.
We'll share her.
Yeah. The Station Dinner Theater is doing old school living in our old school, August 24th to September 8th. The Erie Playhouse has Shawshank Redemption.
Redemption.
Shawshank
Redonkulous.
It's redonkulous. The Shawshank Redemption, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. That'll be on stage at the Playhouse September 13th to 29th. Barrow Civic Theater is holding auditions for Dracula play tomorrow and Sunday. And Barrow Civic puts on some incredible shows.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, I've never
Beautiful
been.
space.
Yeah.
I did Jesus Christ Superstar there this last year, and it was so much fun. Meadville Community Theater is doing Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night, September 13th to 22nd. And the Academy Theater is doing the Rocky Horror Show, September 27th to October 26th. So it's a month-long production.
Nice.
Only Fridays and Saturdays.
Is it are they doing the show or are they showing? Okay.
They're doing the show. And video auditions are now being accepted for certain roles because they are bringing back a lot of the cast from a couple of years ago.
Nice.
So check out the Academy Theater on their Facebook. You can find out more information on that.
Academy Theater puts on some great stuff. They really do.
Really good.
We just sold out Jersey Boys, and we put up record-breaking numbers of Jersey Boys, and it was incredible. The cast was incredible. The audiences were always incredible. But that's not all that's going on in Erie. What do you guys have going on right now?
Oh man, I feel like I have nothing going on right now.
Nothing?
Oh wait!
That's not true at all.
Penny and Pearl Productions is putting on a show on the Victorian Princess called Murder Impossible. Unfortunately, you cannot get tickets for it if you don't already have them because it's sold out.
But fortunately, it is sold out, and that is what we love to hear.
Yeah.
And what else? You have Tethered.
Tethered 25 we are in the process of working on, and the Kickstarter will be September 20th. As soon as you see that link go live, get your tickets immediately.
Will do. And Tony, you are also in that?
I don't know.
If he's very nice to me, he will.
I love that. I love that.
Adele is in charge of that.
Yeah. So fingers crossed.
I hope I make the cut.
I do.
All right, guys. Well, thank
you.
you.
And hit the like button if you think Ryan looks like Michael Keaton.
I've heard that. That's the first thing I heard today. Well, not the first thing. It's one of the things I heard today.
When you woke up this
Only thing
morning,
anyone said to
someone
me
was
today.
just at your bedside. I mean, like, you look like Michael Keaton.
It was you. It was you,
me.
wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was Tony. Tony just like showed up at my house. I was like,
And
"What are you
you're
doing here?" He's
You look like Michael Keaton.
And then he
I-
left
yeah,
He
that's-
disappeared into the night,
into the day.
into the
It was morning.
day.
It's a weird
You're a
service I provide.
reverse vampire. This has gone a whole new way.
This was one of the most fun shows I've had in a long time.
Oh, good.
I really enjoyed it.
Good.
You guys have been fantastic
Thank
today.
you, thank you.
and I cannot wait to edit this episode. And,
Oh, I bet.
and
I
get it
bet.
out there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Just a quick shout out, real quick, to someone who was probably watching or going to listen to this or whatever. It's very important to me. So shout out to President Obama. Thank you.
Mm. Thank
I
you.
mean,
Thanks, Obama.
It's Obama's
Yes,
fault.
thank you.
Everything is
Thanks, Obama.
Obama.
Thank you.
We love you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for Spotlight 814 today. And this week and next week, we have some of the cast members of Pippin coming on the show. I don't know who it will be yet. It's going to be a surprise. Woo! So, can't wait for that. And Adele, what are we doing? We're doing something very soon.
Oh my God, Ryan! I think we're doing Avenue Q.
Avenue Q, who are you?
I'm Lucy the Slut.
Oh, that makes sense.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's actually the character's name.
Names are
know.
It's
getting
not
out of
just
hand.
like a description, which is my favorite thing
I know,
ever.
I know.
Like, it's not like I'm playing Lucy, who is a slut.
Yeah.
I'm playing Lucy the Slut.
Lucy
That's my
the
full name.
Slut. She has some of my favorite scenes in the show.
I'm very, very excited. I'm so glad we are finally bringing Avenue Q to Erie.
And we're doing our first show together since
Since
school.
high school.
Really?
Yes.
Holy smokes!
It's gonna be wild and
Yeah.
amazing.
I cannot wait. I'll be playing Rod,
Rod.
the closet homosexual
Hmm.
roommate of Nikki, and it's gonna be.
It's a great character. Oh my
so
God,
much
you're
fun.
gonna be
I
hilarious.
can't wait. I cannot wait. And congratulations also to everybody who was cast at the Erie Playhouse. They just held auditions for 3 shows,
Yeah,
and over like 160 people auditioned, and it was
amazing turnout.
insane.
Amazing turnout.
So congratulations to everybody cast. And if you didn't get cast, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep working on your stuff
Seriously.
and just audition again.
And audition everywhere.
Yeah.
Audition everywhere for all kinds of different things, for all kinds of different directors with all kinds of different shows. That's my one piece of advice I try to give to everyone who asks me, Adele, you do so many shows. Why? How? And it's because I do them everywhere.
And you know how
everywhere I
to audition
can.
now, and you get better at it the more
Yes,
you do
the
it.
more you do. And it's not like, oh, well, you've been doing shows forever, so you must always get cast. No, that's not. That's
Yeah.
definitely not how it works.
I am
Yeah.
always a nervous wreck at auditions.
Yes.
You really
and
have to
if
be
you
used-
aren't a nervous wreck, then you're probably not doing it right.
Right.
True, true. Yeah, you have to be used to being told no once in a while, and
Yeah.
you have to be used to disappointment in
Yeah.
this. And I mean, if you go on like your 3rd audition and you didn't get the part 3 times in a row, then quit, give up. completely. But-
Okay.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Mhm.
Just
I feel
that's
like-
when you want to ask the directors, hey, can I get some help on my audition
How can I
process?
improve?
Because I feel like I'm doing a great job or I'm really prepared and maybe I'm doing something wrong. And especially if you aren't familiar with the audition process or with certain theaters or directors,
Mhm.
it's always good to have an idea of what they're looking for because maybe in your mind you're thinking of presenting yourself in one way, whereas they want to see something else. So
Yes.
it never hurts to ask. And as a director, no one's going to be offended
No.
by you asking.
And it's never easy to hear no.
No,
You know,
I
It's-
don't like
it's
it.
never easy. Like I moved to New York for a long time,
Oof.
and
so many no's.
every no,
Oh my
every no you
God.
could possibly get, and it's tough, but it never gets easier, and you always have to just keep on trucking.
Yeah, yeah.
There's my big dumb face again.
Would you stop with your face, man?
It's just
You're
bigger and
exposing it to the world.
Michael Keaton.
I do like Michael Keaton's
I'm
face.
Michael Keaton.
You are Michael Keaton.
Look at that.
See, it makes it so much better.
It does. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and I love you guys. This was so much fun today.
Woohoo!
And
So it was.
the show will be up on Monday or Tuesday. It gets closer every time. Why do I do that?
You're just.
Pretty soon this is gonna be on
I
your
know,
face.
I know.
All right. Love you guys.
And if you want, or if you listen to the podcast, you won't have to see our faces. So
It's true. It's true. Just
that's a
listen
huge selling point.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Highly recommend.
wherever you get your podcasts. And We love you. Erie. Celebrate local theater, support local theater. And
Yay!
we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
This show's off the rails.